Hi. Welcome to Movies Reflexed. Today, I am going to show you a 2016 drama horror movie titled The Monster. Watch out for spoilers. Take care. At the start of the movie, a young girl at about 10 years old is shown. She is seated in her room all alone. Her name is Lizzie. Packing all her luggage, she moves to another room. Afterwards, Lizzie was waiting for her mother to wake up. But a lot of time passes and her mother is not awake. So, she goes to wake her up. She says to her mother, "You have told me about the time of 8 a.m. And now, it is striking 9 a.m. Actually, Lizzie was going to her father. Because her parents had been separated. There is no understanding between Lizzie and her mother. There has often been ongoing arguments between them. Lizzie always thinks that her mother is not a responsible person. That's why she was going to her father. Lizzie's mother also knew that she will never come back from there. Actually, Lizzie was fed up from her mother's addiction to alcohol and smoking. Now, she couldn't bear her such behavior anymore. And this is the cause that she was trying to leave her mother. Lizzie has to wait for her mother to come. And another while is passed like this. It's evening time now. Her mother comes here and says, "Oh. It is too late. Actually, I fell asleep again." After this, they both go for their journey. On their way, she stops the car on the road. There, Lizzie's mother gives her a wristwatch. Seeing it, Lizzie says, "This belonged to grandmother." Her mother says, "Yeah. I know. But you should keep it. I know you will never return to me." Then Lizzie says, "I never said such a thing." But her mother says, "You don't need to tell me. I know it." Then the nighttime falls. Lizzie's mother asks her the time. She says, "It's 12:30. Suddenly, the car tire is exploded. A wolf appears before them. Their car collapses with that wolf. In spite of this accident, they were still alive. But Lizzie's mother had been wounded. Observing it, Lizzie calls to helpline. She informs that their car has faced an accident. "My mother is injured and we need help." Helpline team replies, "We are sending a tow truck soon. Later, we will also dispatch the ambulance." Lizzie and her mother were on this abandoned road where there was no one around except them. It also starts to rain down here. They both were entrapped in this trouble. They observe that the wolf that was hit with their car is lying in front of them. It wasn't moving at all. They both get off the car as soon as the rain stops. They both move to that wolf and notices that his has been long dead. Lizzie's mother observes that there is a strange bone and she picks it up. Witnessing it, Lizzie is frightened. She comes to her mother and says, "We should get back inside our car." Later, they are both seated in their car. It starts to rain again. After some times, a tow truck approaches there. It had come to drag their car. Then, Lizzie looks at the side where the wolf's dead body was lying. She sees that wolf is not at its place anymore. She is afraid seeing it. Then, her mother says to her, maybe that wolf was alive. And it have moved back to the forest dragging itself. Now, the tow truck that had come here to pull their car, its driver comes to them. He instructs them to put their luggage in his car. Then they put the luggage in the tow truck. After it, when he goes to fix the hook with their car, then he notices that the front part of their car has been damaged. He says to them, "I will have to repair the front of the car. Only then, I can pull your car." Then, he begins to repair their car. It was being realized as someone is peeping on them from the forest. Afterwards, Lizzie's mother notices that her phone is not there. In fact, she had put her phone in the truck with the luggage by mistake. Being injured, she herself doesn't go there. She says to her daughter, "Go there and please bring back my phone." Lizzie wasn't willing to get off the car alone by herself. But she has to carry out her mother's instruction. She goes to take the phone. But the truck is locked. She says to the driver, "I need the keys." But at that time, that driver was under their car. That driver says, "I will give you the keys once I have finished my work." Then, Lizzie observes the blood stains on the ground. Then, she moves forward following it. There she finds the dead body of that wolf. It had been eaten by someone. Now, Lizzie begins to memorize that moment of her life. One day, when her mother was sleeping after taking alcohol, then she moves to her mother holding a knife. She says to her, "I hate you. I don't need a mother like you, go away." Then, a strange thing is noticed behind Lizzie. What it was remains secret from us. After this, Lizzie comes back to her car. She tells her mother, the truck is locked. She also tells, "I have seen the wolf's dead body. It has been eaten." Then her mother says, "There are many such things in this forest, which are secret. They are not visible." On the other side, The driver who was repairing the car hears a very mysterious sound. When he directs his torch towards that point, then there is no one. Meanwhile, Lizzie and her mother were waiting for the arrival of the ambulance. After a lot of time, the ambulance doesn't approach there. Then, Lizzie's mother says to that driver, "We should leave this place." But she doesn't get any response from the driver. Then, she gets off to check on him. When she checks under the car, then, there was only a torch lying there. And the driver wasn't anywhere. She searches for the driver in the surroundings. But she is unable to locate him. At the same time, that driver's hand falls on that car. Observing it, they are both very scared. Lizzie's mother also returns to the car. Then, that driver also drags himself towards the tow truck. And he unlocks the truck using his keys. They both are also looking at the driver. Lizzie says while crying, "I can see that monster." And we see that monster here for the first time. It was right behind that driver. Then, that monster pulls the truck driver under the truck and kills him. Lizzie and her mother witnesses everything. Lizzie is left shocked. Her mother explains to her, "I am with you, I will never let you be harmed." Lizzie says on it, "Mother, I don't want to die here." Her mother advises her, "You will have to remain cool here. The tow truck's door is open. I will go there to check for the keys. If there are keys for us, hope there is, we will be able to escape from here." But before she gets off the car, Lizzie's teddy bear is turned on. Hearing the sound of that teddy bear, that monster is alerted. It comes here and takes Lizzie's mother out of the car. As it is going to kill her, then the ambulance reaches there. That monster flees seeing the light of that ambulance. Lizzie's mother is saved due to it. After this, she is taken into the ambulance. Lizzie's mother says to them, "We have to go from here. There is a dangerous monster here." But they don't believe here. Then, a female staff goes outside with a torch and searches that place. They are informed through a radio that there is a threatening monster there. "You will have to leave this place as soon as possible." After this, that officer is seated in his car. Then, another officer's dead body falls on the windshield of the ambulance. He was brutally killed. Seeing it, all three are shocked. Now, that monster was above the car. Lizzie and her mother were seated in the back. But that officer was on the front seat. Lizzie's mother moves her hand towards that officer so that she could bring her. But that monster also drags that officer from the car. Lizzie and her mother were trapped in the car. Somehow, Lizzie's mother manages to get to the driving seat. She starts to drive the car. But before they could leave the forest, that monster hits their car. As a result, their car is pushed back to the forest. Consequently, they are both badly wounded. When Lizzie's mother witnesses her daughter injured, then she is very dejected. She says, "You are my life, my blood and my kin. I will never let you be harmed." She attempts to call for another ambulance. But the radio was out of order. Afterwards, that monster again reaches them. Before it could attack, Lizzie's mother turns on the torch. Then, it flees from there after seeing the light. Actually, that monster was afraid of light. Lizzie's mother decides that they will leave from here as soon as possible. Otherwise, we will be victimized by the monster. Then, Lizzie's mother says, "I have a plan. I will go outside with the torch. You will escape from here as that monster comes after me." Then Lizzie says, "No, mother. It will kill you." Her mother says on it, "It won't, I will have a wooden torch. As we know that, it is afraid from the light. So, it will not kill me." But Lizzie knew her mother is lying to her. She wants to rescue her daughter while sacrificing her own. So, Lizzie forbids her mother to go outside. But she says, "Daughter, I will have to go. Otherwise, that monster will kill us." Now, all complaints and distances between the daughter and the mother are ended. An emotional scene arouses from here. Lizzie had also realized how much her mother loves her. Her mother instructs her, "You will run as I call you." Now, her mother takes the wooden torch and comes outside. As she crosses a distance from the car, then she deliberately blows out her wooden torch. Because she knew, as long as she had this torch, that monster will not precede her. Then she shouts, "Run, Lizzie." That monster attacks her and injures her. But before that monster could kill her, Lizzie stabs a hammer in that monster from the back side. Lizzie didn't run away. She came to rescue her mother. But that monster gets no harm with that stroke of hammer. Now, it moves towards Lizzie to kill her. But she turns on her torch. Then, that monster runs away from there. Afterwards, Lizzie moves to her mother who was taking her last breaths. She says to her mother, "You can't leave me like this." Then her mother says, "I apologize." That's when she loses her breaths. Then Lizzie feels that monster in her surroundings. So, she comes back to the ambulance. There, she gets a spray bottle and there was also a lighter of her mother. Lizzie hits upon a plan. She turns on her teddy bear. Then, she throws it inside the ambulance. And, she herself hides at a site in the ambulance. Hearing the sound of that teddy bear, that monster enters the ambulance. Then, Lizzie comes out of the ambulance. Now, that monster was right in front of her. But, she doesn't feel any fear from it. As it moves forward, she burns that monster with the help of the spray and the lighter. That monster burns to death. Lizzie had lost her mother. Then, she recalls that moment when her mother came to her and advised, "Never become like me." Actually, her mother was a drunkard. Her mother advised her to become a good human being. Better than me. Lizzie is lost into the memories of her mother. And, when the morning arrives, Lizzie comes out of the forest. She says, "My mother had told me that there are no monsters. But it's a lie, monsters do exist. Sometimes we see them, sometimes we don't." And with it, the movie ends here. If you enjoyed this video then please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the upcoming uploads. Thank you for watching.